Good evening, I'm Katerina Georgieva. This is CBC Windsor News. Thank you so much for joining us. Tariff threats continue to loom over this community, and local businesses are trying to find solutions. Jason Vio now has our top story.
Uncertainty, concern, and collaboration. That's what's prompted the creation of a local task force specifically looking at the impacts of possible Donald Trump tariffs on Canada.
There is a high level of concern, as I'm sure you can imagine, particularly advanced manufacturing, including automotive, the agribusiness communities, but construction also.
Trump has promised a 25% tariff on steel and aluminum starting March 12th. He's also threatened a 10% tariff on energy exports and a 25% tariff on all other Canadian exports. Those have been paused while Canada and the U.S. work on a border security deal. And Trump has also threatened tariffs of up to 100% on Canadian-made automobiles.
There are so many unknowns right now that it's really challenging to develop a strategy and to gauge what the impact will be, because, you know, we really don't know.
Right now, the task force is speaking with businesses and nonprofits before they ask upper levels of government for help if the tariffs do come into effect. But Stark says she's also hearing from businesses that they're already looking at sourcing things within Canada to help offset these potential tariffs. But ultimately, she says it comes down to what is most cost effective, and adds that the cross-border relationship economically is beneficial for both sides of the border.
Jason mentioned auto tariff threats. Well, last week, Trump did say that auto tariffs were going to be coming, and today we are learning more about the specific details of how much. Here's what Donald Trump said earlier today during a press briefing.
Decided specifically what the auto tariff rate should be.
Yeah, I probably will tell you that on April 2nd, but it'll be in the neighborhood of 25%.
Canadian scientists are baffled about why meetings with U.S. government scientists are now being reviewed under President Donald Trump. All international meetings related to scientific collaboration, they now need senior approval. That's according to internal emails obtained by CBC's Jayla Bernstein. A researcher here in Windsor says it is drastically altering his own work. Aaron Fisk is the Canada Research Chair in Changing Great Lakes Ecosystems at the University of Windsor. Up until a few weeks ago, he worked closely with Americans, but that reality now completely different.
It's bizarre and it's scary, and you know, I feel bad for our environment. I feel bad for our climate.
CBC News has seen emails sent to staff at NOAA, the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. The memos place limits on international scientific meetings, virtual or in person, requiring clearance from senior officials.
We tried to have a quick meeting with one of our collaborators, and they were denied access to talk to me.
American scientists barred from meetings, plus funding freezes. That all has a deep impact, especially for researchers here, given that the Great Lakes straddle both sides of the border. Fisk receives funding from NOAA for his work, but now nearly $1 million in limbo, leaving 2 Great Lakes projects on hold. One on studying the movement of fish, another on how climate change is impacting Lake Erie. Fisk is fearful this is a form of information control.
It's very draconian, very un-American, very un-American.
On top of all this, there are also reports of looming mass layoffs at the U.S. agency. The president of the Union of Concerned Scientists says science is under attack in the United States, but encourages colleagues to not give up hope. A spokesperson for NOAA denied there is a pause on international communication, and the Canadian government told CBC News that it had received no official notice of changes to its collaborative relationship with NOAA. All right, that right there is a bald eagle. And if you want a chance to see one of these magnificent birds, now is one of the best times of the year to do it. About a dozen of them could be seen yesterday around Peche Island. The eagles come to the Detroit River area in search of open water where they can catch and consume fish. And photographers have been flocking to Windsor's Lakeview Park Marina to spot them in action, hunting over the river, putting on high-flying aerial displays, and even courting mid-air. You can expect to see an influx of the birds on Peche Island for the remainder of the winter months. Chris Potter joins us now for a first look at weather. Chris, a beautiful sunny day, a little chilly, but still beautiful.
Yeah, no active weather, which is lucky. Obviously, this past weekend, we got into quite a bit of snow across the entire forecast region. But currently, it is clear right now. No active weather. That is residing off of Lake Huron and especially moving down towards the GTA. That's where heavy snow is expected through the evening. But Windsor, you're going to be clear to mostly clear, but cold. Temperatures anywhere from -9 to -11, but feeling as low as -18 to -20 right now. Through the overnight, mostly clear. -17, feeling closer to -22. Cool but bright start to the day. We start to cloud over into the afternoon. No active weather, but temperatures will be still capped at around -7. We'll talk about a warm-up coming up.
Sounds good. Thank you, Chris. Up next, the investigation into what caused the shocking crash landing of a Delta plane is now in full swing at Toronto's Pearson International Airport. Multiple agencies are taking part trying to figure out if winter weather was to blame for yesterday's dramatic accident or if it was something entirely different. But everyone on that plane and those who've seen what happened already know at least one thing for sure. The fact that no one died is astounding. Nicole Williams reports.
The terrifying moment. The Delta Airlines plane came crashing down.
All of a sudden, I just remember being fully sideways.
Oh, no.
New cell phone video shows it coming down hard, catching fire, skidding forward and flipping over.
I was looking down and just seeing like sparks and flames and whatever was grinding against the ground. And then, yeah, it happened pretty dang quick and we were just upside down hanging from our seatbelts.
Plumes of smoke rising into the air before crews arrived to douse the flames.
Drop it! Come on!
All 80 people on board coming from Minneapolis alive, but 21 were injured and taken to hospital, including one child. Delta confirming all but 2 have since been released, many treated for head and back injuries and fuel exposure. Dozens of investigators now on site from the Transportation Safety Board of Canada and the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration to try and determine what went wrong.
On Thursday and Sunday, we got more than 20 inches, 50 centimeters of accumulated snow.
The airport's CEO says it was a brutal week for air travel, 2 snowstorms paralyzing hundreds of flights over the last week.
Monday was a clear day, though, and it was an operational recovery day for Toronto Pearson.
Toronto Tower, wind 270-23, gust 33, clear to line on 823, you might get a slight bump.
But this audio from air traffic control that day was warning pilots of tricky conditions on the runway.
You might get a slight bump in the glide path, there'll be an aircraft in front of it.
Winter airports, gusty conditions, it becomes more challenging. So make no mistake about it.
The fuselage of the plane is expected to remain on the tarmac for at least 2 days, forcing the closure of 2 of the airport's 5 runways to give investigators time to get to the bottom of the crash before it will be cleared away. More than 400 flights were canceled yesterday because of the plane crash, and that is on top of the ballooning backlog already created because of the 2 winter storms we had this past week. So airport officials are saying to expect delays in the days ahead and to check your flight status before you head to the airport. Nicole Williams, CBC News, Toronto.
As the Ontario election campaign enters its second last week, the NDP are trying to woo voters in downtown Toronto today as the Liberals look to spoil their plans. Leanne Harrison explains.
I love this city. I believe in this city, and I am ready to fight for this city.
Toronto's core is somewhat of a stronghold for the NDP, leader Marit Stiles pitching her vision to keep it this morning. Among her promises, an NDP government would take on 50% of the operating costs for the TTC, which the party says would make service more reliable.
We have to take back provincial responsibility for some of this, and it's the only way that we're going to be able to solve some of the issues that we're facing with the TTC.
But while Stiles works to shore up support in the city, Liberal leader Bonnie Crombie is looking to take some of that support.
I'm asking everyone to come together, especially those who may have voted NDP in the past, to vote for Ontario's Liberals to change the government.
It's a day strategists say is insightful for both parties.
The reason the NDP are focused on downtown Toronto is because they're deeply worried about downtown Toronto, specifically about those ridings which they were successful in winning in both 2018 and 2022, and which now appear to be in some doubt given recent poll numbers.
The sun rises in the east, it sets in the west, and the Ontario Liberals will call for strategic voting at some point to try and steal NDP votes. What surprised me was how early she did this. It sort of sends a signal to voters that she's given up on beating Doug Ford.
As someone who's pitched herself as a different kind of Liberal, who supports police and is against the carbon tax, Crombie says there's a big reason left-leaning NDPers should join her team.
They'll choose me because they want a family doctor.
But Stiles isn't concerned about her votes turning red.
Their path is they're just trying to make party status. Look, the truth is, my focus is and continues to be flipping blue seats to orange.
Meet Marit Stiles and the NDP.
And if a new PC attack ad is any indication, those with blue seats are still thinking about her after a debate NDP strategists felt positively introduced voters to their leader.
I think maybe Doug Ford is a little rattled after last night.
Lane Harrison, CBC News, Toronto.
A Blenheim realtor is trying to rise above all the noise on social media platforms. And as Jacob Barker reports, her quirky videos might just be a way to stand out in the crowd. Check it out.
Hi, I'm Jackie Patterson with Excel Realty here in Blenheim, Ontario, and I make funny real estate videos.
Welcome. I bet you're wondering what the I'm up to today. I'm listing this house at 171 Cornhill. Come take a look.
I do a lot of tracking for my statistics on videos and posts, and I was noticing less than 500 views, and of those views, most people didn't get past that 10-15 second mark.
This room is longer than 2 Jackies.
So I really was following other content creators and real estate agents to find what I thought was going to be something that would be entertaining, something that would bring viewers to want to view my content, see my page, see what I have to offer.
Just Blaze. Oh, baby. Killer.
There was one that I did that was like a fairy tale love story of a home that really romanticized the property.
Once upon a time, nestled on the north shore of Lake Erie, stood a humble caterpillar.
It was a very plain Jane home on the outside, but as soon as you walked in, those renovations were hundreds and thousands of dollars, and that's what that fairy tale romanticized.
Awaiting its moment of metamorphosis, as you go inside, you discover the awaited transformation into a breathtaking masterpiece.
I wouldn't be able to do these videos without, first of all, my client's permission, but second of all, without them giving me some creative freedom and them having full trust in me.
Pretty funny. It was pretty good. We liked the video, me and my wife, we thought it was pretty good.
This is a bathroom. Bonus, it has a removable faucet head, so you can wash your rat with fur in comfort.
Well, Jackie's always been around. She's been helping me for a while, but to branch out to new people was the thing. The smaller, the younger kids, and try to get out to them, reach out to them and see if they can come forth and buy a home too, instead of selling it to everyone that's just going to flip it.
And that's actually, went viral and also created a ton of success for that property. We've gotten over 25 showings on it already.
Obviously, trends are a thing. We have to follow the trends. We want to make them our own. But I think the thing that resonates with social media viewers the most is just being authentic and being genuine. And I think that that's what she's trying to do.
I think that if you're challenging yourself and you're trying something new, then go for it. I love to see the different videos that real estate agents do to advertise their listings. And there's a lot of local realtors that do some amazing and unique content creation. And even for me as a fellow realtor, I love to see it. I love the creative aspect that this job gives us. And it's just inspirational for all of us, even those that are getting into real estate, to see what the future holds for us.
If you want to come see this dope piece of house and garage, then give me a call. Jake Quallen, out.
A live look outside there. Hope you got to enjoy the sunshine. Stay with us. More news when we come back. Welcome back. With tensions high between Canada and the U.S. over tariffs and sovereignty, some Canadians have called on leaders to cut off energy supplies to the United States. But now others are urging them to tear up a decades-old water treaty. Yvette Brand has details on that.
A stunning vista, but not to Crystal Spicer.
It's devastating to look at.
That's because decades ago it was here that waters swallowed her family farm when this area was flooded.
I'll never forget the paradise it was before.
A fertile valley, First Nations lands, all lost to create a reservoir to control the water flow for downstream states.
I've always looked forward to the modernization or the termination of the treaty because it's been so unbalanced.
The Spicers fought for their home, less water fluctuations to preserve the fish, the river, seen by Trump as a faucet.
So you have millions of gallons of water pouring down from the north with the snow caps in Canada and all pouring down. And they have essentially a very large faucet.
These red dots represent just some of the 60 dams on the Columbia River Basin system, which provides more than 40% of all the hydroelectric power in the U.S.
I know Canada was compensated monetarily, but Not enough for what Canada lost.
She says tearing up the treaty would help Canada push back against tariff and other threats.
And if Canada really wants to play hardball, Canada can say, we're serving notice of termination. We're going to run this river exactly how we want to run this river.
The BC minister in charge of treaty negotiations says the process would take 10 years and wouldn't help.
It wouldn't have much impact on the current situation, which is an immediate and vicious attack on Canadian sovereignty that we have to respond to.
I am in favor of it because we need control for our own objectives.
Spicer is all for terminating the treaty. As for Trump retaliation,
I would expect it, but I would hope that Canada would stand its ground.
She hopes at least the renegotiated, modernized treaty, which involved years of talks with First Nations and surrounding communities, will survive the latest turbulence coming from our southern neighbor. Yvette Bren, CBC News, Vancouver.
U.S. President Donald Trump's drive to slash the federal workforce is pressing ahead, led by American billionaire Elon Musk. Their latest target, the federal agency that oversees U.S. banks and insures deposits. More than 500 employees there have been fired, but there's also concern over Musk's team trying to access people's personal tax records. Cameron McIntosh has the details from Washington.
Elon Musk continuing to move fast and break things here in Washington with another high-ranking resignation. Michelle King, acting commissioner for Social Security, left her job after resisting requests from Musk's so-called Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, to access the IRS's highly sensitive taxpayer data system, including tax, banking, and even health information. Now, Musk is alleging rampant fraud, claiming dead people are receiving Social Security payments, but has not provided evidence. Social Security payments account for about $1.5 trillion, or 1/5 of annual federal spending in the United States. Reportedly, King has been replaced by someone who will cooperate with Musk. Meanwhile, DOGE continues to lay off thousands over several federal departments. Many people receiving form emails simply saying they're done. Elizabeth Aniskovich is a now former lawyer at the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau.
I have no information about exactly how long my health insurance will continue. I have not received forms that are necessary to file for unemployment. And there's just a lot of questions about what we are supposed to do next to take care of ourselves.
Now, the Trump administration says it wants to cut 10% of the federal workforce. Some departments are having trouble tracking it. Take the National Nuclear Security Administration. Over the weekend, it realized it was firing some of the people that monitor the nuclear weapons stockpile. It's trying to hire many back. Musk has said mistakes will be made, but is offering little in the way of accountability. Cameron McIntosh, CBC News, Washington.
Do you have a story that you think we should cover? We want to hear from you, so send us your ideas. You can reach us by text message 519-984-2051. And you can also email us at windsor@cbc.ca. Stay with us. Chris Potter will be with us right after the break for more weather. Chris Potter is back with us for more weather. Chris, a beautiful day today, and folks like me might be hoping for more sunshine tomorrow. Maybe, I don't know. What's on the go?
Yeah, it does look like we'll start off with a decent amount of sunshine tomorrow, Kat. A little bit more cloud moves in for the afternoon, mostly mid to high level clouds, so no threat of active weather. Temperatures, unfortunately, will still trend well below where they should be. Believe it or not, the normal daytime high for this time of year is close to 1. The normal overnight low is close to -7. We were basically 10 degrees cooler during the day and 10 degrees cooler during the overnight, and more of the same tonight and tomorrow. Luckily, the winds will be much lighter, so although there's still going to be a wind chill, it's not going to be as dramatic as what we've seen. Temperatures across the board well below normal across southern Ontario. -10 right now in Windsor, -12 in London, -9 in Goderich. Of course, with the winds still quite gusty, frequent wind gusts anywhere from 40 to 50 kilometers an hour, makes it feel as low as -20. Through the overnight, the winds will gradually start to diminish, and that will obviously have a lesser impact on how cold it will feel in exposed skin with those winds if you're exposed to them. We're mostly clear right now, mostly clear for the evening, and mostly clear through the overnight as well for the most part. Lake effect snow will continue off of Lake Huron, Georgian Bay. It's kind of targeting the GTA and the shoreline itself. That will start to weaken as these winds start to weaken as well. We'll start the day tomorrow with a decent amount of sunshine. A little bit more cloud moves in. Lake effect snow will be probable close to Goderich up towards Grey Bruce County, but not through southwestern Ontario. Once we get into Thursday, there is a slight chance of a few flurries, primarily once again off of Lake Huron, stretching down towards London. It looks like Windsor and surrounding areas will likely escape with just a little bit more cloud from time to time. As we get into Friday, although we'll start off with a decent amount of cloud, it should thin out nicely into the afternoon, but temperatures, I'm afraid, will still be seasonable. It's not until the weekend that we start to climb temperature-wise. In terms of the overnight lows, basically the minus mid-teens, anywhere from -15 to -17, feeling as low as -23, though. By tomorrow, it's going to feel anywhere from -10 to -13, but the temperatures themselves will still be around 7 to 8 degrees below that normal threshold. -6 for you on Thursday, cloudy, feeling like -12, -3 for us on Friday, and you're going to start to notice those overnight lows improve as we get into the weekend as well. The reason being a southwesterly wind. Temperatures should climb up to at least -2 on Saturday, will become mostly cloudy. There will be a slight chance for a few flurries during the evening and overnight, and by Sunday, there is a system kind of moving across the lower Great Lakes that will still give us a slight chance for a few flurries on Sunday, but at this point, it does not look like accumulations will be expected, and daytime highs should climb, Kat, up towards 0. So in short, cold, less cold, more seasonable. Something to look forward to.
Yes, I like seeing those temperatures going on the up. Thank you very much for that, Chris.
You got it.
And thank you so much to you all for watching. Come back. We'll see you tomorrow.